Kodiak River is known as the Chocolate River because its tidal linked to the Bay of Fundy, and when the tide goes out, it looks like this.
Hello and welcome to episode 38 of the Knit Sip Happy podcast. My name is Nancy and I'm coming to you from the east coast of Canada, just outside of Moncton, New Brunswick. Hello, how have you been? Today is Thursday, July 20th. It's Saturday, July 20th. Yes, Thursday, July 20th. It's a Saturday, which means I worked today, and then we went out for a really nice cruise in our classic convertible car. You will have seen something at the beginning, I think, from that. We had a nice picnic lunch. I had a little bit of wine with mine, did a little knitting, and this is all that's left from the bottle of wine from earlier. So I'm feeling a little flushed. We are outside today, as you can tell. We're in my screen room on my deck. It's very bright in the background. The sun is full on out. I was hoping it was going to be a little cloudier, but this is where we're at. I think the lighting's okay. I thought I'd try for outside today because this is going to be a fairly down and dirty episode. I have no notes. Are you ready? I'm a little tipsy and I have no notes. Oh boy. Okay. So I have, we're going to do the giveaway a little later on, the giftaway for the second Podiversary celebrations. We are going to be doing some FOs, some whips, some spinning because it's Tour de Fleece, some acquisitions, and wherever else I go rambling off to for the next little bit. Yeah. I hope you're comfortable and enjoying something comforting to you, whether it be coffee, tea, hot chocolate, if you're in the southern hemisphere, or if it's early in the day where you're watching, or a little tipple, as I will be enjoying a little tipple because I don't have much. As I said, I've already drunk most of this bottle. Brad has a little bit, but he drives, so he doesn't have very much. When we have these fun car picnics, I have most of it. But I also do have a large glass of water, cold water. Oh, that coloring's a little bit better when the sun goes in. All right. First things first, we're going to deal with what I'm wearing because it's my first FO and I need to get it off of me. It is warm today. It is in the mid to high 20 degrees Celsius with some humidex values, but not as warm as it had been. So this is my hint of summer in Holst Coast. So I am going to stand up and give you a little tour, and then I've got some better notes on my Ravelry page, so I'll pull it up and we will chat about this. I'm going to pause you for a second because I got to move you back to make room. So this is my Hint of Summer by Isabell Kraemer. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. It is a drop shoulder design. I modified the sleeves to make them 3/4 length, but I didn't do any decreases. As you can see, I left them with no decreases, but all of the edges have this kind of purl knit and then cast off, so it kind of rolls back on itself a little bit. So I've done that on the sleeves and around the neckband and also around the waistband. So I cast this on, I'll let you know when I have my Ravelry page, I cast this on last year and then kind of fell out of love with it because it was winter and this is quite lightweight using one single strand of Holst Coast. I modified as I do. I made the V-neck shallower. I didn't make it quite as deep as the pattern calls for. And I did some underarm decreases here for the drop shoulder that come from the Lotus Lake or the Tank RT from Annie UT Knits. And then I did my A-line increases, which you can see really well coming down this side here, so it floats away from my body. So this is going to be a great transitional kind of sweater for me in between season. It is definitely too hot for this today. So I'm going to pause you again, go put this on a hanger and put on something cooler, and then we'll talk some more details. Hold please. All right, I'm back in a cooler shirt. Yeah, so I double checked my notes. I cast this on August 2nd last year in 2023. I have a cone. I brought it out with me. Yes, I did. A cone of Holst Coast in the, I believe, Kingfisher. Yes, Kingfisher colorway. This is the second garment I've knit out of this cone. I have enough for a third. Whether I hold it with mohair or hold it with itself or hold it single again. So Holst Coast is 55% wool and 45% cotton. So that's what I have left of my cone. And yeah, I'm really happy with the fit and the feel. You can see how light it is. You can see the background through. This yarn does bloom quite a bit, as Holst yarns do. They come to you with the spinning oil still in them. So I took a little video footage. Somebody had asked if I could take some video of me washing and to show the bloom and how it comes. So I've done that. So I will insert that here. So I had a request to show you my hint of summer before I blocked it. So this is an overview, overall shot of it, and how kind of uneven and holy, and you can quite easily see my hand through there. So I'm going to go ahead and do the first warm water soak / wash, and I will show you the process. So this is quite hot to the touch water with a good amount of soak in there. And we're just going to plunk this in. I'm doing it in this white sink so you'll be able to see the change in the color of the water. Sometimes I have to add a little more water after the garment is in there, which I do. So I'm just going to pull the garment away and add some more hot water in there. And we're not doing any kind of much agitation in there, just kind of making sure everything is saturated. You can already see the color of the water is changing quite a bit. I've got some dye in there, but we've also got kind of a scungy gray look to it. Sorry for banging the camera. So I'm going to leave that for about 20 minutes and then I'll come back and we'll lift the garment out. I'll show you the water and then we're going to do that again. Okay, so this has been 20 minutes. The water is still warm to the touch, so I'm not going to do too much. I'm not going to squeeze this sweater out. I'm just going to kind of move it to the side so you can see the color of the water behind the bubbles. So I have had some dye come out. I've also got quite murky water. So I'm just going to drain it and I'm going to refill it and I'll be back. Yes, that was a little piece of my tap that just went flying into the sink. I've asked Brad to stick it back in for years and he never remembers. I need to find, anyway, I'm babbling. I'll be back. So I'm using hot water again and more soak. I'm just going to gently spread this out. I'm just trying to get the spinning oil out of this yarn. I'm going to leave it for another 20 minutes and then I'm going to start bringing the water temperature down and rinse it in some cool water, and then I can start squeezing it out and trying to get
the dirty liquid and the rest of the spinning oil out, but I don't want to do that until I'm using the cool water. So you can see again, the water's already changing color and it's still looking murky and not clear. So I'm just going to leave this for another 20 minutes and then I'll be back to drain and start with the cool water. Okay, so we're back again after another 20 minutes and you can see I've got what the water looks like. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to drain this and run some cool water over it, and then I'll be able to start agitating it a little bit and see what else comes out. Okay, so I've not put any more soak in here. This is just cool water and I'm just lightly kind of moving it around a little bit, and this is going to soak for another 20 minutes or so. And I'll see what the water looks like. I have a feeling, yeah, I'm going to have to do another rinse. You can already see, do it this way. You can see I've still got stuff coming out. So this is going to soak for another 20 minutes and then I'll come back and hopefully it'll be the final rinse. And then I'll lay it out to get it blocking. Stay tuned. So this is the rinse water. This is rinse number 1 with no soak and just cool water. So it's looking better. So I'm having a hard time seeing it on the camera. It's still looking a little murky. So I'm going to drain this, give it one more go, and I think she'll be ready to roll up into a towel afterwards and throw out to block. So I am just going to do one last rinse before I put it out to block. Stay tuned. And 10 minutes later, I think I'm good to go. That's pretty clear. There's still a little bit of blue in the water, but that's pretty clear. I'm going to gently squeeze this out and roll it up in a towel for it to dry, and then I will lay it out to block. So here we are blocking. I don't generally like to pin block unless I've got some crazy rolling. So I've just kind of pulled it into shape and I've put the blocking wires, you can see it's sticking out there. I put the blocking wires in across the shoulders and the sleeve just to help me get that line across the top and give me, this is where I've started the A-line shaping. You can see it swooping out. So I just put a little wire in there to help me pull those sides out. But I said I haven't pinned it. And then I've just pulled down the edges along the bottom. I don't think this is gonna roll, but if I'll come out and check it in a little while, and if it looks like it's gonna roll, I'll pin it down. But for right now, I'd like to just leave it and see how she goes. So that is my heavily modified Hint of Summer. I will show you the finished fabric and object either before or after this video. I'm guessing after this video. So that's the process that I use for washing the Holst yarns, and it's given me this beautiful lightweight, I said it is cotton but it's also wool, so too hot for today in the high 20s, but I could certainly wear this up into the low 20s, either with a tank top underneath it or just with a skin tone bra underneath. So I think I already talked about most of the modifications, that I made this V-neck shallower, I changed the sleeve detail, and my A-line increases down the body. There are specifics on my Ravelry page. Ah, yes. I forgot to mention that all of my project notes will be linked below. My project pages will be linked below, and all of the notes for this episode. I'm sure I've probably already put on, but maybe I haven't, where you can find me on the internet. I am Knit Sip Happy everywhere. I just hopped right into the garment because it was hot and I wanted to get it off me. So
So that's Hint of Summer by Isabell Kraemer. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, if I didn't say that. And I've knit it before. I knit it to pattern with the stripes, with the deeper V. And I like it. It's a little too big for me, but so I wanted to try it again in a solid color with some modifications, knowing what I know now about garments. What I like and what I don't like. So what I'm wearing now is my Edie, also by Isabell Kraemer, Love a V-neck. I'll put a picture in here, a finished object picture of me wearing it when I first made it. I think this was 2 summers ago that I finished this one. It's using Knit Picks Lindy Chain, which is a nice cotton linen yarn. I would definitely knit with this yarn again. I've knit with it once before. I have another Edie in this yarn in a beige tan color that I really like as well. So, as I said, I'm operating with no notes today, so there's nothing to refer to help my brain. So I'm just looking at my basket of all the things I've gathered, so we're just going to go through the basket and see where we get to today. The one other finished object is the Suri shirt by Edie. Was knitting this for my daughter Sam. I haven't seen her yet, so she doesn't have it. We are 2 weeks today to wedding day. So she is away with a girlfriend, enjoying a little downtime this weekend before her future in-laws arrive next week, and Rob's bachelor is next week, and so things are moving along, but I haven't seen her. But this is the Suri shirt. I've got no model pictures of her yet. I'll probably put those on Instagram and I can show you on the next episode, but today we're just going to have to get it hanging, and I've not trimmed off the ends yet in case I need to make any edits. I'm pretty sure we're going to be good to go lengthwise and size wise for her, but I just want to make sure before I trim all those ends that I don't need to make any edits. So I knit this using Sadness Garn Tin Lena. The colorway will be linked in the project page below because I don't have the ball band with me. I still have a skein and 3/4 left. I think I had 5 skeins for her, and I only used three and a bit. 3 and a bit. I could probably tell you. I figured I would bring my tablet today with my for project notes because I have no actual handwritten notes. Suri shirt. I used 3.7 skeins, so 814 meters, 890 yards, and 185 grams. And the colorway is 1015. So yeah, I cast on the medium for a 45.5 inch bust to give Sam the ease that the garment recommended. I didn't do any modifications really. Because I knit this fairly to pattern when I knit for Sam. I can't do a lot of modifications because I don't have her with me to try it on. And she likes a boxy style. So my row gauge was off. I had to adjust the length of the arms a little bit. And my sleeve pickup, I picked up a few extras. The sleeve pickup, I picked up 8 more on each sleeve. And I'm assuming that's because my row gauge was off, so I had to do more rows. So those are the only modifications I have in there, and I'm really excited to see it on her, to see how she likes it and how the fit is. So that is the Suri shirt finished. And as I said, when I get a picture of Sam in it, I will share it with you here, but I'll also share it on Instagram. And now we have another sock parade. I finished the little Croy shorties. I showed you one of these last time. I showed you this one last time. I had a 50-gram ball. I used the heel flap and the toe. I hope that wind isn't too loud for you. It's a little blowy, as you can see in the background. I used Sisu yarn for the toe and the heel flap, and this is Croy Fiesta Jacquard. So I was telling you last time that this was the start of the repeat up here, so I wasn't sure how I was going to match the sock. because I didn't want it to be too close. So what I did, instead of trying to match, I just picked up the yarn. I used the yarn from the opposite end of the ball. So I normally work from the inside out on my balls and cakes. It's my preference. So I knit from the inside of the cake out for this one. And the second one, I knit from the outside of the cake. So the yarn is running in a different direction. I ended up with a little, you know, the pink against the pink toe with just a thinner black line. It's a little thicker on this side. But it gives me, you can tell they're matching, but they're not the same. So that I find more aesthetically pleasing than if I had just offset it by, you know, 6 rows. That would have bugged me a little bit. And yeah, I think it's different enough, but we're getting kind of some matchy with the black and the white. So these are for my son's girlfriend. They are going to go away for Christmas. She told me when I gifted her shorties for her birthday that she actually loved the shorties. So now all she's getting is shorties. So it's a great way to use up scraps. This is a 72 stitch sock, but it's a very short foot. Cass has a 5.5 ladies US North American size foot, but I have to do a 72 stitch for the width. And none of my blockers accommodate that, so I just have to wash them and kind of stretch them into shape and lay them out. So these don't get blocked in that sense, but that's one pair done. The other pair I showed you one and I was working on the second. I finished off the second sock. So this is a gift pair for one of my employees, one of the gentlemen who works for me. He loves his socks. So this was using the James C. Brett, was it Happy Feet? I'll link it here if I'm wrong. But again, all of the details on the yarn and the project are down below. I kind of made up, I'd use the simple skip pattern. So slip, knit, yarn over, pass the slip, and then the next round you knit. So I did a purl on each side. So I've got the actual stitch combination in my project page if you would like to replicate this. I just did 2 columns on each side of the sock. I had said last time that the skip simple sock summer was a free pattern. It is no longer a free pattern on Ravelry, but this skip stitch combination is in stitch dictionaries and it's freely accessible in lots of different places. But her actual skip pattern is not available for free anymore. But yeah, so these are done, also going away for Christmas. And then I have a brand new pair of socks. This is using Knit Picks Felici. I cannot remember the colorway name, but Felici is discontinued. They do special limited edition colors and they don't come back. So I used a contrast heel, flap, and toe, which was Knit Picks Stroll. Do I have the color of either of those written down on my project page? I don't think so. And I didn't bring the project bags because I am outside. Nope, neither. So the Knit Picks Felici was leftovers. I don't think it was quite a full skein. I think I had 2 of these originally and I've used them for another pair of socks. So I thought I would do a fun pair of shorties. And this is something I'm working on for a pattern. I was just playing around, but they're 64 stitch, 2.25 millimeter needles, which is my standard go-to. As I said, contrast, heel, flap, and toe. And I managed to get matching stripes out of what I had left of the 50 gram. I had to do a little bit of messing around with the yarn management. You can see the green on this one isn't the same as the green on that one. but nobody's gonna notice that. These are gonna go into the gift pile. As I said, this is a potential design in the future, but I'm messing around with it and I don't really have the brain space for that right now, but I was just playing around. Just playing around. That is what I have for finished objects this time around. So we're going to go into whips. And it's warm. It's warm, it's warm. I probably should have done this in the air conditioning, but that's okay. I finished off another, this is kind of a whip, kind of an FO. I finished off another knitted knocker. Actually, I didn't quite finish it off. I was out and about and didn't have a darning needle with me, so I just need to pull this tail through all of these stitches, but I wanted to cast on another one right away, so I took it off the needle. So I just put it on stitch markers just to hold those live stitches until I can thread this end through them all, because you leave them open, you send them open like this so they can be stuffed at their location and sent on from there. So this is using the Kobu yarn from Lion brand. This is a different, darker colorway I took with me whenever I was out with this yarn. I can't remember where we were going, but it was something that was on the needles and was quick, and I don't think I had anything else on the needles. So I finished one, and then I have cast on another one just for running and going as I need to. I'm going to look back at this in editing and regret my life decisions. Okay, next on the needles. Well, I may as well show you this really quick because it's not on the needles anymore. I had shown you this Sadness Garn Lena in the colorway 6080 that I was going to cast on Heidi Kiermaier's Buttercup, which I did, and then I ripped it. So I'll put a picture here I put on Instagram. It was before I tried it on. I thought I was on track. It was way too big around the neckline. There was no way I was going to be able to remediate it. So, and I also decided that this color was not for me. I think this is probably a Sam color. So I've got a sweater quantity of this for her for either later this year or in next summer. I can do this for her. So that has gotten, it's in this bag from my lovely friend Donna. She's going to have a booth at Woolstock East in New Glasgow in September and at PEI Fiberfest in October. So this is going to go into stash for another time. So what I did then was cast on another garment for me because I needed another summer garment. So in this beautiful bag made by a local knitting friend, Ellie. I got this from her at our winter gathering that we had in Sussex in February. Beautiful bag. And I have cast on, I showed you this yarn last time. This is Yarn Indulgence's Silken Linen Fingering Blend. I've got two skeins in here. I'm going to just put this one back just because I'm helical knitting right now. But this is Yarn Indulgence's Silken Linen Fingering. Great yardage, super soft, beautiful to knit with, and the colorway is Twilight 2. So it's a really pretty lavender wisteria kind of color. And I got this from Deborah at, I think, Fiddlehead Fiber Festival. And I have cast on, I think I had mentioned last time that I was going to cast on Isabell Kraemer's Laia. This is an Isabell Kraemer very heavy episode. My first finished object was an Isabell Kraemer. I am wearing Isabell Kraemer, and I have one cast on. So Laia has this really pretty lace yoke that I have finished. I'm on a short circumference needle, so I can't show you the lace super well, but I will have the project page linked, and I will have put a picture of Isabell wearing hers up here. So I have done the lace, I have finished the last increase round, and I am just knitting round and round until I get to the correct yoke depth. I have my Kermit and Miss Piggy on my needles as needle stoppers. I'm knitting this on my my Knit Pro Zings, or Knitter's Pride Zings. I have an interchangeable set. They're metal with fun colors. So I am knitting this on a 3.25 millimeter needle. But this is lovely. I've really been enjoying this. I'm in the round now and the lace is finished, so I have 2 strands attached. I'm helical knitting just to alternate the skeins to make sure there's no weird pooling. I don't mind doing that at all. So I don't know when this will be finished, but I should be able to wear it yet this year, season of 2024. What else do I need to tell you about that? I have cast on a size... I've cast on a size 4 for the neckband and the first rounds of increases, and then I increased out to a size 5 before I started the lace. And I also did 1 extra set of short rows in the back just to bring that back neck up a little higher, which is my preference. I changed the increases. The increases in the pattern use a make one right and a make one left. I was finding in the silken linen yarn that it was really visible. So I switched it out and I used the lifted increases that Jennifer Steingass uses in a lot of her patterns. But you can, and Heidi Kiermaier also uses in her patterns. So you can look that up on YouTube. Invisible lifted increase, or just a lifted increase for knitting. And it's just a slightly different way. It's a less visible way in this silken linen. If I was knitting this in wool, and I've knit it in a wool alpaca blend in this nice dark purple, and the increases weren't noticeable, and I did do the make one right, make one lefts, but with this specific yarn, I was finding that it was quite visible, and I didn't like that. So I ripped back and switched out for the lifted increases. You can still see it, but it's not in your face. It's not too noticeable. And that's all I have for notes on that. So I have 2 skeins of that. So once I get once I split for the sleeves, I will, for a couple inches, I'll cut the yarns and I'll go and knit the sleeves. And then I know whatever I have left is what I have left for the body. So splitting for sleeves, this is a traditional yoked garment. So I will be using the method to move more stitches to the front of the sweater and the back of the sweater. I'm going to link, I think it's on this side, I'm going to link the video chat where I talk about how I modify my sweater garments. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, because most women are of bigger chest and flatter back, I need more space in the front of my garment, so I put more stitches on the front and less on the back. So fundamentally, I'm moving my sleeves back on the garment. So I talk about that in detail, and there's some visual aids to help see what I'm talking about. So that will be linked here on the screen and down below if you're interested. And, oh yes, this is a fun project. So again, I'm trying to use up part skeins as much as I can, and I dragged out this Lily and Pine in the colorway Fireworks. This was a sock set that I had. I did my Christmas Eve cast on in this yarn. So it was a sock set with this little bit of hot pink and this beautiful teal and assy green and the pink. So I did a pair of Swiss dot shorties, I think, for my Christmas Eve cast on. What I have done here, because I don't have enough, I grabbed some Cascade Heritage. It's looking redder in the screen, but it's actually a really hot pink. It is... the tag rolled up in the center of the ball. Color 5616 Fuchsia. So it is a nice bright pink, just not quite as bright, or it's brighter than the mini that came with the sock set. So, oh, hummingbird, excuse me, distracted. I have a beautiful fuchsia plant that way, and they love the fuchsias, the little hummingbirds that come by. So I am knitting 2 socks concurrently. I started knitting 1 sock and realized, oh, you idiot, you're probably going to run out of yarn. So I quickly pivoted and cast on a 2nd sock. So I have done a cast on in the contrast color, 1 round of ribbing, and then switched to the main color. Did 1 plain knit round first, and then did the ribbing and started the pattern. So I've chosen to use the Smoke Gets in Your Eyes pattern, which is one of mine, which has just got this fun cable texture on the front, and it's just vanilla on the back to be able to enjoy the yarn. So pretty, this yarn. So these are for a gift from my sister-in-law's mother, Roxy. I knit a pair of socks for her at Christmas time, and she loved them so much. I saw her when I was visiting Ontario in May, and she couldn't say enough nice things about her hand knit socks. And I thought, well, you get another pair. So my brother and sister-in-law will be here for the wedding in a week and a bit. So they'll be here on the Thursday before. So I thought if I could get this little pair of kind of shorties, kind of not, done, it would be fun. And I'm knitting anyway to keep me calm. I'm knitting as and where I can in this busy time. And yeah, so I did a contrast heel flap, and I've just worked down, I've just about finished the gusset. I finished it on one and not quite on the other. And I'm just knitting from either end of the skein. Because I didn't plan this, if I'm working from the inside and outside of a skein, I normally like to put a button on both of the strands. Because this was a decision made late in the day, there's only 1 strand going through there, but it's still doing its job and stopping them from getting really tangled up, for the most part. It's not quite as good as if both strands were running through it, but it's better than nothing. So I'm going to keep on trucking down here. We're looking at, this is a 68 stitch sock. The pattern comes in 56, 64, 72, which is standard sizing. What I've done is I've just added 4 stitches on the back and 4 stitches on the front, and I've modified the pattern to be able to do that. And it's simple to do from the chart and the numbers that are in there. If you have the pattern and you need a little help to make that change, let me know and I can help you with that and tell you what I've done. So I'm going to knit until I get, when I obviously realize I'm not going to have enough. I've got lots of pretty teals and turquoises that would match this, and then I'm going to fade in and do the toe, maybe in the pink, maybe I'll do it in the turquoise, we'll see. Either way, it's going to be a very colorful, fun pair of socks. And that is Roxy. She is colorful, she is fun and full of life, and I think she'll love these. And I'm happy that I'm getting all kinds of these little bits and bobs, or not so little bits and bobs, out of my stash. I believe, including the mini, it was 51 grams. So I'm going to be close. I'm going to be close. So even, like I said, if you don't have to fade in and do some of the tealy turquoise color to finish it off in the toe, that is what's going on there. And I just... if I'd known I was going to do this, I would have used a bigger bag. It's a bit of a mess in this Paradise Island bag with 2 needles and yarn and contrast and all that. But they've been fun to work on this week. The other pair of socks I have on the needles that I've been playing around with is the Felici socks I showed you earlier. I didn't chart this or write it, and then I decided to put another pair on the needles and get a little more serious about it. So I'm playing around with this as a design for the fall, probably. Yeah, I'm not going to have time to be doing any of this stuff in August and September. I'm just playing around, and like I said, it's a possible new design for the future. This is using the yarn from Creative Knitter called Let's Stay Home. It's the yarn I used in my Let's Stay Home socks. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's a forever free pattern to say thank you for all of the support and lovely, lovely knitters who purchase my patterns and support me in so many ways. And yeah, it's just a thank you. So this is leftover yarn, and then I found a contrast in my stash that matched really nicely in this dusty pink. This is on a 64 stitch. Again, I'm just playing around. I started charting it one day at work when I should have been doing something else, but you know, I'm the boss, so I should have been doing some paperwork or some accounting. Amanda, who works with me, watches this. Shh. I don't want to hear it. I was knitting instead of working. So, yeah. That's hanging out and just percolating in the background, and I'm working on it as and when. Yeah, that's all I've got for active knitting whips, because it is also Tour de Fleece. I have been spinning quite a lot for the last 2 and some weeks. I think the tour started 2 weeks ago. I forget now. 2 and a bit weeks ago. I think today is day 20. So yeah, it's almost 3 weeks ago, isn't it? Anyway, Tour de Fleece. So I'm going to show you some spinning, some finished things, and what I'm working on now. So I can't remember, did I show you this one last time? I had, but I hadn't washed it. I can't remember. This is a 3-ply. It's fiber from Yarn Indulgences. It's a merino nylon, which 80/20, which is just a joy to spin. It is so smooth and light and easy for me to get nice fine singles, so I can get a 3-ply. This has been washed, but I haven't counted it yet. I don't know what my weight, my final weight and measurement is. It looks heavy fingering to sport. It's going to be a delightful pair of socks, or 2 pairs of socks with some contrast. But blues and purples and browns and greens, it's really, really, really nice. And poofed up quite a lot, as hand spun usually does. So this needs to be run through my yardage counter so I know what I got. So I finished that one and washed it, and then I was showing you this Fiber Goddess from Calgary. Ooh, that got bright out back. I'm going to put some pictures in here of Fiber Goddess, that the braid that I got at Knit City Toronto, and the fiber as I was spinning it and plying it. So I'll just put some pictures up there. And I finished it and I washed it. This was a Polworth Yak blend. Hang on, I have the tag here. Yeah. It is Polworth and Yak. The name is, I'm not going to say that out loud in case you have little ones. And yeah, I fell in love with this at Knit City Toronto. I'd never spun with a yak fiber before. I don't know if I would again, to be honest. So It's a 2-ply. It's a little thicker than my usual. And the reason I would hesitate to do it again, the yak is a very short fiber, and I found it pilled. Even in my hands, it was coming out in little balls as I was drafting. The yak gives it that really low-key kind of brown-gray undertone. I've seen this colorway in Polworth and Silk and other blends from Jen, the Fiber Goddess, and it's beautiful and bright. I said, I don't regret this spin. I do like it, but I wouldn't spin with yak again. It's lovely and soft and squishy, and it looks better now that it's been washed. I found it hard to be consistent because of the yak kind of building up and pilling in my hands. I was pulling a lot of it out as I was spinning my singles, and at a certain point I said, I swore a little and let it kind of be what it wanted to be, because I just couldn't keep pulling out the chunks of yak to get it even. So it is a little thick, thin. Again, I've washed this, but I haven't counted it for yardage and weight yet. But those are going to be the only spins that I complete for Tour de Fleece. I have 2 spins in progress. I will show you. I had talked about using these bats that I got last year from Sue at Paisley Defender, that I struggle a little bit with bats, and I was hoping that I was going to like this process more. This is what I have left from the first one, and I'll put a picture up on the screen here of the bobbin in progress. I didn't want to unhook it and change my tension and all that stuff, so you're just going to get a picture. Again, I'm finding this very thick and thin with lots of different changes of fiber. I'm not enjoying the process particularly, and I'm not enjoying the way that the single is looking either. So I have 2 more of these bats. They're going to go back into my stash for now. I may be looking to rehome these, and I think I'm just going to stay with Rolags and roving. I don't think I'm a bat person. The way I spin, the way I like to spin, what brings me joy is not bats. I tried. I'm still trying. I'm still spinning it. I will finish one bat. I will ply it back on itself, and I'll see what it looks like. But it's a struggle. It's a struggle for consistency. I don't like the change in the fibers as it's going through my fingers, and I just don't think it's for me. And that's okay. It doesn't change the fact that they're beautiful. They're beautifully prepared bats. I just don't think I'm a bat spinner, and that's okay. So as a complete palette cleanser, I had mentioned this fiber and showed you this fiber before as a goal that I wanted to start spinning during Tour de Fleece. It's this, got a little bag down here. So this is the end of the first big ball of roving from Spunky Eclectic, who doesn't die anymore. This is Rambouillet. It was a birthday gift from Deborah at Yarn Indulgences. She gifted me 3 balls of this roving, and this golden yellow, light yellow, purpley mauve, white. And oh my word, it's spinning beautifully. It is drafting like a dream. I am enjoying this so much. So I'm spinning this on my Eel Wheel Nano. I have the 1.0 Nano, but I've upgraded the motor. I got it from a D-stash, and it's my favorite to spin on singles. I have 2 full bobbins, and I have a 3rd one on the machine now, and I haven't finished the first bump yet, and these are quite full. These are little 2-ounce bobbins. but I just want to show you. I'm able to spin this so fine. That it's just going to be so easy to 3-ply and get a beautiful, consistent yarn from. No idea what I'm going to do with it, but again, this is not why I spin. I spin because I love the process. The knitting with the hand spun is a separate hobby. But as I said, you can see this beautiful change in color. And I've been so loving this. I do this for the last hour or so before bed, and it's just so enjoyable. So what I've been doing, I've been tearing off chunks off the balls and then stripping it down and just drafting it a little bit and making little nests. And I just keep the little nests in this bag and I spin them, and then yeah, it's been very enjoyable. And I'm going to try and keep up that practice of spinning for about 45 minutes to an hour every night before bed. It's just, I find it so relaxing and so calming. And if you're not a spinner and you stuck around for this section, I thank you. If you are a spinner, how is your Tour de Fleece gone? Have you enjoyed it? Did you meet any goals you'd set? I pulled some fiber from my stash, and like I said, I tried the bats, and I'm still spinning that bat. I'm going to finish that one bat, and I finished the Fiber Goddess, so you know, I think I did really well with my goals. Okay, let me get rid of this and this and this. Let's do the giveaway winner. I had so many comments on episode 37. I haven't even answered them all, and I apologize. It's been a crazy 3 weeks since I was here last, and I'm working my way through the comments. All of the comments were entered into the draw, whether I've hearted them or commented back to you or not. All of the comments, they'll still think I'm a week and a half behind on comments. Even if I haven't answered you, you were in the draw. YouTube random comment picker pulled, I think, 462 comments that were made between when I published that video and today, which is Saturday, July 20th at about almost 6 p.m. Eastern Summer Time. So this giveaway was for a Christmas Vacation Polka Dot Creek set with this fun knitting bag and the self-striping sock yarn. I have loved your comments. There were some very funny ones because I said to you, the reason I was giving this away, I won this in a giveaway from Polka Dot Creek last year, which was very generous. And I told you last Christmas when I won it, I was going to save it for a giveaway for Christmas in July. And here we are. I said I was giving it away, not because I don't love you guys, I do. But if it had been Love Actually themed or White Christmas themed, I would have kept it. I am not a fan of the Christmas Vacation movie. A lot of you were clutching your pearls and saying we couldn't be friends anymore. I'm looking at you, Kelly. We're all different. We all like different things. It doesn't make those things that we like or don't like any less valuable to anybody else. So I had asked you to tell me what your favorite Christmas movie, Christmas film was. And I have so enjoyed reading those comments and answering back, and, you know, ones I've never seen before, ones I'd forgotten about, a lot of Miracle on 34th Street, It's a Wonderful Life, lots of Elf, Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, my favorites, The Holiday, Love Actually, White Christmas. There was a few I'd never heard of before. The Bishop's Wife with Cary Grant. I have to look that one up because I'm a big fan of Cary Grant. I love his movies. Anyway, I will be answering your comment, the rest of those comments, over the next little bit as I work my way through. But the winner, keep on yakking, the winner of this sock set is, I'm going to put the screen up here and grab my notes because it's the only thing I wrote down for these notes. The winner is DM Brown 240. Congratulations. If you could reach out to me at the email listed below, and we'll make arrangements, and I will get this mailed out to you as soon as I'm able to do it. Thank you everybody for playing along and your lovely comments. This was for my second Podiversary giveaway, and we have since reached 5,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. I am still putting together a giveaway, 2 prizes I'd like to give away. I'm going to wait until after the wedding and all of the shenanigans at my work and do that later in August. Just because I don't have time, I'm not going to have time to be in and chatting with you guys as you're leaving comments, and that's why I love to do it. And I just don't want to let it go so long. It's going to take me another week or so probably to catch up with the comments from episode 37. So I appreciate your patience with that. Stay tuned. There will be a 5,000 subscriber giveaway coming up soon. A few weeks after the wedding. So all we have left is a few acquisitions, and then I'm going to do a little life chat, and we're going to wrap this up. And if I've forgotten anything, I'll either hop back in later in editing, or we'll say, screw it, and we'll catch up with it next time I come and see you. I love coming in here and chatting with you guys. It's like I'm talking to a whole bunch of my friends, and I know I say this all the time, and yeah. Thank you for being on the other side of the camera and listening to me and talking back to me, and I do so appreciate it. So, acquisitions. I'm going to go in, I was going to say alphabetical order, that's wrong. Chronological order is the word I was trying to go with. I told you last time that I was going to place an order with Galt House of Yarn, and I did, and I haven't even looked at it. The box came on a busy day, and then I put it away and I forgot about it. So I've just cut the tape. I haven't looked at it yet. So shall we open it up together? So this was Galt House of Yarn had a 20% off sale going on in June into early July, and I said I was going to order some of the Sadness Garn Lena and Tin Lena, and I did. Oh, sorry, bumped the tripod. Isn't that green? That is the DK Lena, and that is going to be a Sunshine Coast. This pink is also the DK Lena. It's going to be a new Lotus Lake tee, and this is the Tin Lena, and it's going to be I don't know what. Oh, and I forgot. So this is Galt House of Yarn in Ontario. Great website, easy shipping. I also ordered some of the Cascade. Ooh, hang on. Nope, I'm gonna have to put that down. Cotton Noble. It was recommended, it's another yarn recommended for knitted knockers. So it's 100% mercerized long staple cotton. It is 220 yards for 100 grams. So I grabbed a couple of neutral kind of skin tone colors, and we'll just add it to my knitted knocker stash. So I got that, and then I got five of this Tin Lena, and really soft, pretty. Colorway is 5023. I don't know what the name of it is, but it's a really pretty pink. Soft pink. So that's for me. And then the DK or worsted weight Lena. And this is the colorway 4626. And this is going to be a Lotus Lake tee. As soon as my Laia is done, I'm going to cast this on. I'm tempted to cast this on now. Maybe. Because it's DK and it's fast. So Lotus Lake is by Annie UT Knits. Annie UT, I test knit this for her last year. I have one in a really pretty mint green and I wear it loads. I love it. I love that pretty lacy border on the bottom. And yeah, it's that modified drop shoulder design with the decreases under the arms that I have fallen in love with. So I bought enough of this to do another Lotus Lake. And then this, I know the colorway is Jelly Bean. It's it's almost neon. It's coming up a little bit darker in the screen actually. So I got quite a few skeins of this. This is 8236. Again, this is the worsted DK weight Lena. So this is 53% cotton, 33% viscose, 15% linen. And it is. Ooh, ant on my toe. 50 grams per 110 meters, so 220 meters. So it's in the, you know, sometimes can be worsted gauge, sometimes DK gauge. But I thought this would be beautiful for a Sunshine Coast. So that is what came from Galt House of Yarn. And oh, that is just so much fun. Must knit faster. The other thing, we were in Halifax, I'll talk about that in a minute. Went into LK Yarns in the Hydrostones area in Halifax. We were staying just across the road and I thought it'd be rude not to go in. So I picked up some commercial sock yarn from this yarn store. So I got this Comfort sock. And the colorway is this one. Farba is the color. So 10-423. So I got this one, and then I grabbed a Drops Fable in this. It's a little turquoisier. I thought this would be fun for heels, toes, and cuffs for this one, and other things. So I got Drops Fable in color 105. I grabbed, this is Prolana sock yarn. Good, sturdy, commercial, manly sock yarns. I really like this one with the gray and the blues. And then this one was really fun. It's Rico Superba Fair Isle. Look how fun those colors are. So this is not a manly color, and I'm going to have a hard time gifting this one because I really like it. But what I then saw was this really fun, it says another Drops Fable. I thought, boy, wouldn't that be a great heel, toe, and cuff combo, or just heel and toe combo for this one. So that's what I got at LK Yarns in Halifax. And then my friend Deborah from Yarn Indulgences stopped by. She is going to be at Knit City in Calgary in the middle of August. I am not. That is the week of our business's 20th birthday celebrations, so I cannot go. A few people had been reaching out and asking me if I was going to be in Calgary. Unfortunately not. But Deborah will be there with a load of the silken linen and lots of other goodies. But if you remember, I have knit with, this is her luxury base that she usually only carries for shows. It is an alpaca cashmere silk blend. Do I have the details? Where's my tablet? Oh, there it is. Let's see if I have the details. I'm going to be knitting Deborah another simple thing. I had knit one for Knit City Toronto, and then she wasn't sure she was going to be carrying it again, so she gifted it to a family member when she was in Ontario, and then realized that she needed a sample for Calgary. I said, give me the yarn, I'm happy to do it. She was joking and said that she didn't want to put that on me with all the craziness. I'm like, I am knitting through the crazy. The way I deal with anxiety and stress and boredom and all the other things. Well, I have other coping mechanisms that are bad, but the good coping mechanism is knitting. I will always have knitting on the go, and I can easily have this done before she needs to either A, ship it, or B, take it with her in her suitcase. So this luxury yarn, it's undyed. She brings it in undyed because it's just beautiful. It is 70% alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere, and it is the softest, floppiest, most beautiful thing you will ever see. If you are going to Calgary, I recommend you stop by her booth and fondle this yarn. If you were in Toronto, I'm sure you did, but we sold out real fast. This was a hot ticket. So I'm going to be casting on a simple thing either tonight or tomorrow. I will hold this yarn double. It is a fingering weight yarn. I'm going to hold the yarn double like I did last time. I will use my button trick. Oh yeah, I started to talk about that. I've got a video tutorial. I'll put the link up here. I'll put a little info card that you can click on. I'll put both strands, one end, each end of the cake of yarn through a button, and that just helps control the twist and stops things from getting tangled when you're knitting from the inside and the outside of the cake. So I will be doing that again. I'm going to cake this up, and I will be doing another simple thing for a booth sample for Deborah sometime over the next week or two. It'll be in Calgary. I'll probably have it next time I come to see you because she'll be back from Calgary by then. The other thing I got from Deborah was this beautiful skein of her sock marl. So yarn indulgences. This is her sock marl base, and it's an 80-20. It is so soft but yet sturdy. I don't know how it manages it. It's an 80-20 base. This is the colorway Tweed, and I'm going to be knitting her a manly pair of socks to gift knit to somebody in her life. I love knitting socks. I don't have enough feet or family and friends with feet and the socks that I love to knit. So I offered to knit a pair of socks for this gentleman because he was also lovely when we were in Toronto, and I wanted to, this will be my part of the gift to say thank you for the help he gave us when we were in Toronto. So I'll be casting these on. I don't know when. There's not a huge rush on these, but and I need some information. I need foot size and foot circumference from Deborah before I can cast these on. But this will be upcoming, and I can't wait. It's going to be super fun with the tans and the golds and the teals and the deeper greens. It's going to be really fun to knit. And last thing, which I can't remember if I showed you or not, it's sitting in my gift basket, but I'm looking at it thinking I may have already showed you this. From Turtle Pearl Yarns, this is Wild Rose. So Turtle Pearl Yarns is a local to me dyer, Emily, and she does self-striping yarn in 2 matching 50-gram skeins. And if I've showed you this Wild Rose before, I do apologize, but it was still sitting in my podcasting basket. So I'm thinking maybe I didn't, but if I did, it's still pretty. So I will have everybody I talk about down below in the description box. So that is it for the yarny content. I'm just going to have a little knit and natter. I don't have any, well, I do have stuff to knit on. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have a little natter with you before I say goodbye and give you a little life update, I guess. So last time I saw you, I wasn't sure if I was going to get back before the wedding, but I really wanted to kind of wrap up the giveaway, and you know, we've still got 2 more weeks till the wedding. it's going to be a busy couple of weeks where we've kind of got over that hump of waiting. Now we're kind of in that, okay, now we can start doing things and getting ready. Next Sunday, we're going to drive up to Ants. Really? Ugh. It's the only thing with podcasting outside is bugs. I'm even in a screen room and they still come in. Where was I? Next Sunday, we're going to take the old girl. We're going to drive the 1960 convertible Thunderbird up the highway. And it's going to take us normally takes us about an hour 45 to 2 hours. It's going to take us probably close to 3 hours. Brad will drive that car. I will follow him in the regular car. And we're going to take up all of the stuff we have so far for the wedding. Platters and baskets and cutlery and plates and napkins and all sorts of odds and sods that I've been collecting here. And we're going to take it all up there. And future mother-in-law, Rebecca, and future father-in-law and sister-in-law, they're all going to be here. They'll have arrived from Calgary by then. So we are going to have a meeting of the minds, all of us, and look at this pile of stuff and the pile of stuff that Sam has and go, okay, what have we forgotten? Because I'm sure we've forgotten something. We've still got to buy all the food and this and that, but I want to get the bulk of everything wedding related up to them next Sunday. And then it's there. And then I'll be back and forth through the week to help out as I'm required up there. We've got family coming to stay with us that week, arriving on the Wednesday and the Thursday before the wedding. So this upcoming week, the 22nd to the whatever, is going to be a lot of house cleaning and organizing and getting things organized to prepare for people coming in your house. You never clean as frantically as when somebody's coming into your house, do you? My lovely mother-in-law, Olive, will be staying with us for, I think, almost a week. So she sleeps in my craft room, which is the spare bedroom, one of the spare bedrooms. So I need to empty out my craft room again. If you were here in spring of 2023, I did that already. I did that last year when she visited. And it's probably not a bad thing to do it again because it'll force me to organize when everything comes back in. So Brad's job is to clear out the rec room. He had done some painting I'd mentioned earlier in the spring and never put the paint supplies away because he wasn't quite finished. He thought he was going to get back to it. Well, he hasn't. And he had all kinds of crap and corruption all over the basement spare rec room downstairs. So that's where all of my craft room supplies need to go. So I will be packing up my craft room and taking those downstairs. Now that I've recorded, I will then pack everything up and try and get organized and get ready for my lovely mother-in-law to come and stay. I know she watches. Hi, Olive. I know she watches the podcast. I was also thinking I should probably cast on a couple pairs of slippers for her. She loves the little slipper socks that I knit. It's a toe-up pattern by Cozy Up Knits. I'll put it up here on the screen because I can't remember. I should probably see if I can get a couple pairs of those done for her before she heads home. That may or may not happen. Yes, that's what's upcoming. Past us, I was talking about our wedding anniversary and hoping to get to Halifax. Breaking news, we got to Halifax. I'm going to end the podcast with some amazing footage of our time in Halifax. We spent 2.5 days, went up on Sunday, came home late in the day Tuesday. It was smoking hot. We were under a bit of a heat wave at the time. So walking around, we were hoping it was going to be cooler on the harbor front, and it was at times, but other times it really wasn't. So we spent a fair bit of time enjoying some drinks on patios. We took a boat out to George's Island in the harbor, which was something I thought I'd missed when we lived there, but it wasn't a thing when we lived there. It opened to the public in 2020. It is a island in the harbor that was used for fortifications. There's been a fort there since, well, I think the 1600s. And it was been used all the way through World War II as a gunnery, to site for submarines or airplane or whatever, bombing. And you can take a boat trip out there, so that you get on the boat and it takes you all the way around the island and then leaves you at the island. You can go back. You can go back whenever you want. So it comes every 40 minutes. So there was self-guided tours around the island, and then you had a guided tour through the tunnels which run below the fort, the fortification. If you're in Halifax, I would recommend it. It is it's the best views I've ever seen of Halifax Harbour and Halifax itself on the waterfront. We could see Citadel Hill up between. There were cruise ships in at the cruise ship port. There were tall ships with their sails up going around the harbor. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful day. It was hot. We found a little bit of shade for our picnic lunch. I got a little bit of video I think Brad took of me knitting. We found a building where the sun was almost behind it, and we found, 6 feet, kind of a 6-foot triangle of shade with a bit of a breeze to sit in and have our picnic lunch and enjoy the boats going by. Yeah, we went out to bars, we went out to restaurants, we had drinks, we relaxed. It was great. We stayed at a friend's apartment. She was away visiting family, so we asked her if we could stay at her apartment, Airbnb her apartment for a couple of days. She very kindly said yes, which was great because tourist pricing is no joke at this time of year in my part of the world. We get a lot of out of country, out of province tourists, and the price of everything goes through the roof for the tourists. What else? Yeah, we get we got 2 more weeks to the wedding. I'm working 1 more week and then I'm off for a week, and then we're back to work, back at it. We've got staff out on vacation, getting ready for our big birthday celebrations and sale at the store. So the next time I see you will be, it could be 4 weeks, it might only be 3. We'll have to see how things go. I will have pictures of the wedding next time if you are interested. I have my dress, I got it not adjusted. I got it taken in on the sides because dress for a pear shape. I had to order for my hips, and the top of course was too big. So I have shoes, I have jewelry, I got the most beautiful pair of earrings I was going to bring to show you from Erin Elliker. She's a local New Brunswick maker. I'll put a picture in here. They are beautiful. It's polymer clay, and she does slabs of really pretty flowers. And once you see my dress, when I show you pictures in August, you'll understand why I fell in love with the earrings. Am I just blabbing on now for no reason? Possibly. What else do I have for pictures? There'll have been pictures of our picnic and a little bit of T-bird footage at the beginning, and then I'll end up with our Halifax footage. Yeah, it was a really nice break before things get a little woohoo. I am going to say goodbye. I really didn't drink a lot of wine this time because I'm finding it quite warm, and I was a little tipsy when I came to sit down and talk to you. Happy knitting, my friends. Happy sipping. I will see you in 3 or 4 weeks post-wedding. Happy knitting. Cheers.